Okay, this is for InDesign Interactive ePubs, adding audio and video. So back in my little just interactive sandbox document here, this InDesign document that I'm just using to play with interactive features, and adding audio to an ePub is really simple. You can place audio files. Now getting my windows organized here is a little complicated, but adding an audio file to your interactive ePub, you can just drag it. So just find the file on your computer that you want and just drag it into your layout. It will load your cursor and then you can click to place it on the page. Once it's placed on the page, go to Window Interactive Media Panel. In the Media Panel, you can preview your audio file, listen to it. You can also make certain settings such as start playing automatically when the page loads, loop the audio file so it plays continuously, or stop the audio file when we leave the page. I can also give a border to the audio file itself so we see it. There's an immediate button to call up the ePub interactivity menu, so I call that up. And it's a little hard to see on the screen here, but there is an icon on the panel. There's my buttons that don't work, but there's the audio file right there. And when I click it, I can hear it. So I know that I've got my audio file in there. Now, another thing that you can do is just go to File, Place. And that'll bring up a menu. You can search for audio files, choose the one you want. What audio file do I want here? Let's just pick this one. Okay, open it, click open, and it'll load your cursor. Click your cursor and it'll place that audio file just like we did when we dragged it. Then you go and call up that media panel and you can make these same kinds of adjustments. Now, if you want your audio to not autoplay, if you want it to be triggered with a click, you want to change those media settings and make sure that nothing is selected. Right? So just make sure here, these boxes here, make sure you unclick those. Then it will default to play on click. If you want it to be triggered by the user, that they'll have to click on it to get it to play. And you can test that again in the interactivity panel. Preview. There's so many panels. Let's go over here. Now, if you want a button to trigger an audio or video file, you can do that too. So you just add a button like we did before, and I'm going to select it, this one that's already here. And instead of on click, you can choose things like on rollover. In addition to changing the event, you want to add a new action, and this time the action is simply sound or video. I'm going to choose sound. So instead of being a navigation button, this button is going to trigger an audio file. And then up here in the sound menu, it gives me a choice of what audio files I want it to trigger. Notice that it's only going to suggest the audio files that are already loaded into this document. This is not searching my computer, this is just looking at the audio files I've already placed in here. So you have to place those audio files first. Then you can select any audio or video file that's already in your document as the one that you want to start playing. Notice that you have options to choose whether you want the button to be a play button, a stop button, a pause button, or a resume button. However, a button can only do one of these things. If you want to have all of these things as options, you have to create multiple buttons, one for each one, or else just let the audio play out as long as it's not selected to loop. Okay, now we've been mentioning video. What about video? For video, it's, again, just like placing a picture. I could drag a video file, or in this case, I'm using File, Place to bring up a menu. I'm selecting a video file off my computer, and then clicking Open to place it in my document. It's going to load my cursor. Where I click with my cursor is where it's going to put the video file. Notice that it's very large, just like a large picture, so I'm going to need to zoom out and then adjust the video. It has a frame and a content just like an image, so I need to adjust my frame and make it the size I want. And then I need to click on that donut to adjust the video itself, just like I would adjust an image to fit the frame, or you can use the frame fit buttons as well. Now when I go into ePub Interactivity Preview, there's my video. I click it, it starts playing, so I know that that's in there. If I go to the media panel, I can make similar adjustments just like we did with the audio files. Note that you can also activate the preview window from within the media panel. Now you may have noticed as you're doing these things, here's the media panel, making some adjustments. You may have noticed an option for video from URL. Right now that only works with a direct URL to a MOV or an MP4 file. For an ePub, it's not going to work with YouTube or a G Drive link or a streaming service. However, you can do those in regular InDesign when you publish the file online. You just can't do it with an interactive ePub. So if you want videos, you're going to have to acquire either original video files or download the actual video files that you want to include so that you can place them directly into the document.